Hey guys, this is Kevin Cromwell. I am new to the boating world and recently purchased a 1979 Sea Ray SRV 300 Weekender. Bought it down in Sandusky, Ohio. I live up here in Monroe, Michigan, so about an hour and a half away. Okay. After numerous searches online, it was clear to me that there was not a whole lot of information about these boats online, in different forums. In fact, I even called Sea Ray directly for a owner's manual. And they kind of laughed at me and said, we don't have anything that old. So the boat is in really good shape, but like any boat, it does need some work. So hopefully anyone watching this video can point me in the direction of what I need to fully restore it. But I'm going to take a quick tour of the boat and kind of show you everything about it and what I've done so far. In fact, I'm going today to Secretary of State to get it titled because this COVID thing had it all shut down. So I've had the boat maybe 3 weeks now. It doesn't have a trailer. In fact, it's too heavy to be on a trailer. I think the total weight of this was anywhere between 10,000 and 12,000 pounds. So anywhere between 5 and 6 tons. And that's a big boat. I've got it docked here at Marina, at Breast Bay Marina, up here, like I said, Monroe, Michigan. Looking around, there are quite a few other Sea Rays here, but none of them this old. In fact, this one is probably the widest boat out here. You know, I'll show you here in a minute how wide it is, but it's I think it's a 10.5-foot beam, which is very wide. So currently there is nobody sitting next to me in regards to the dock next to me, which is kind of nice. I told them when they do find a boat, it's got to be a lot smaller, like a 19-foot boat or something like that. But this is a 30-foot Sea Ray, like I said. So let me just take you a quick tour of the boat here real quick here. Alright guys, so I'm sitting here in the cabin here, or actually I should say the captain's seat here. Pretty much all the gauges work. I have noticed that the starboard engine, that oil pressure is a little higher, between 70 and 80 typically, so I'm actually having a mechanic come out and take a look at that in a little bit. All the switches work as well, outside of one wiper motor, and this switch isn't even labeled here. I had to replace the horn, so I already replaced the horn. The vapor detector does not work; it's not even hooked up at all. Somebody prior to me had installed these two ports here. One is actually a USB, which is really convenient. Still no clarification on what these two switches do right here. So I got to trace the wiring on that in the near future. And I've also got this switch here, which I had installed for the fish finder. That's a Garmin 73 SV, 7-inch touchscreen. So we keep that at home. I don't keep that on the boat. But it does have a synchronizer. You'll see this giant hole here, which is where the compass used to be. It was broken, so I've got a marine salvage yard here in Monroe, so I'm actually going to go over there to pick up a new marine compass there. One of the plans I do have, though, is because some of these switches, these fuses and stuff, they're all mismatched, I'm actually going to work on fixing that. I'm going to get some new gauges. And one of the things I plan on doing, maybe not this summer, but maybe in the fall, is I've become pretty handy with woodworking. So I found some teak wood, and I was going to build a custom dash. I'm going to take a look to see what I can, in fact, do with that, and hopefully be okay with that. Usually the boat starts right up on the first go, so I'm going to go ahead and show that at the end of the video. You'll notice over here, it's all open, and this piece down here of trim is actually on the ground. When I got the boat, this was all non-marine wood, and as you guessed, it was all wet rotted out, majority of it. So one of the first things I did was rip all of that out. Okay, so I'm working on plans of building that out again, getting some new teak wood, and also customizing it so there's actually fishing pole rod holders along the side here, just so you don't have them in the way when you're not fishing. The sound system is shot. All the speakers are blown. So I've got speaker here, which gets mounted up here. Down there, you got the sub right there, which is blown. I think it's a 10-inch. More speakers over here, and then another one over here. So I'm replacing all the 6, and then I got 2 more in the cabin as well. So what's that? 4 back here, and then 2 in the cabin, so 6. So I'm going to go and replace that. I can't get into it here because this thing's in the way, but there's the amp, marine amp. I'm going to replace that with a smaller, more effective unit as well. Okay. For the most part, everything in here is really nice. I got to fix this door here. Okay. Nothing too special there, nothing too hard. These nice, I believe they're original vinyl seats. And if they are original, which I don't have any way of knowing that or not, they are in really good shape. But I would be surprised if they're not. Okay, these are some fancy pillows my wife bought immediately. Okay. Actually come with I think this is a 30-inch, maybe 27-inch TV. Okay. Which is kind of nice for the kids. I haven't turned it on, even plugged it in yet. They had an extension cord running above up here, all the way over to this plug down here. So what I'm going to do is put a plug down there, which is a plug inside the cabin right there, so it's easy tie in there. Okay, so that's one of the plans I have there. There's a cover for it for the back. The cover is, I would say, maybe 2 years old, so it's a fairly new cover. Really good condition. All right. The wiper blades work except for this motor here. So this is the middle one. I'm going to get that replaced as well. Synchronizer works well. Horn, obviously, I said to replace that. Let's go down to the cabin here. Okay. Now you'll see that this is right here, the table. Now the stand of it is missing because it had broken. The previous owner had hit a bad wave and his wife fell into the table and broke the base. So I've actually got my uncle fixing that. He's a welder. He said he should be able to weld it, and if not, if you can't weld, I'll just replace the base. It's not a big deal. It's just a pedestal base there. The top works there. This broke off. This part right here is a wing extension to the table. So I just need some reattach that. Not a big deal. Okay. All original carpeting all along the walls, which thankfully it was not some ugly carpeting color. Alright, here is the, I guess you want to call it the bed area. Still in really good shape. That behind that mirror right there is the anchor rope and chain. I do believe my wife is actually in the process of refabricating all this stuff here. She's pretty good at that type of stuff. You get little sliding doors here, which is nice. A little more head space up there. You got 2 accesses here. You got this access right here to the front of the boat, and then also this one right here. Both are sealed well, so we've just recently went through some heavy rain over the course of 3 days, and everything in this boat was dry. So that's really good sign. All those seals around those windows are really good, so that's a great thing there. Under my feet here is some more storage. Just a small little thing. Same thing under these two, under this rug, there's 2 little panels there. In here, we got an air conditioner. It works well. I just got that up and running, de-winterized it. Basically, just priming the pump is what it took to do that. Now, keep in mind, this is my first boat ever. Never had a whole lot of experience on boats, so everything's a learning thing for me. So I'm pretty handy mechanically wise, but it took some time. I actually found a manual for the air conditioner in the boat, so I was able to figure out how to prime the pump, which was pretty easy actually, and that works pretty good. But like I said, you don't keep this running the whole time. You just use it off and on sparingly as needed. Okay. Doesn't get super cold, but I also haven't had it running a long time either. Okay. This side over here, another storage area, but this is where I'm going to basically keep all my tools and things that I need on the boat as needed. One thing I was taught early on is have tools on the boat. If you're out in the water and something happens, you don't have tools, you're SOL. There's a thermostat. I'm assuming these are all original plugs too. You got the color covers there for it. Okay. Some of the lights work, some of them do not. So a little bit of work to do on that. There's the other speaker, and then the other one's over here. I don't think these are even hooked up. New refrigerator. Okay. Got some worms in there for fishing already. Had a pretty bad smell, so I threw those in those, what do you call those things here? Oh, geez, that stuck. These Arm & Hammer things hopefully get the smell out of there. So here's the circuit panel here on this boat. Okay. So the boat also has this, then also has a hot water heater over here. So one question I have for anybody out there is, one thing I've found is everything in the cabin works, well, I should say, the refrigerator and the plugs work when we're under shore power, when we're plugged into shore. The minute we unplug it from shore power, and even if I have the boat running, I have no power in here. Nothing powers in the cabin. So I don't know if there is a converter that's broken, missing, or if it's not wired properly, or if it's just designed not to run without shore power. So that is a question I have for other people. Obviously, you see there's no panel covering here, so that's something I'll have to build and fix. The sink is not currently hooked up, so it looks like kind of old piping and stuff, so I'm going to work on that in the near future as well. Here's the head. I got a little bit of work to do. Some of the screws came out of the door, so I have to fix that. Here's the head. It's a new toilet, I was told. Okay, but right now I don't currently have any of this really hooked. It's hooked up where it drains to the tank, I believe. I hope so. It's, at least I could tell from when I was in the engine compartment there. So a little more work to do in here, because I haven't quite figured out how that all works, especially with the hot water heater. Because like I said, when I turn the hot water heater switch on, which is down here, when I hit that switch on, the circuit breaker, it trips the circuit breaker on the shore power. So I don't know if there's something not wired correctly or what is up with that. So I'm having to find either one of y'all know something about that, or maybe a mechanic and hopefully can point me in the right direction of how this actually works and stuff. You've got another compartment down here. You just pull these stairs out here. This goes into the engine compartment. You can't see much right this second. In fact, there's a hot water heater, the port side engine, the starboard engine. Both of those engines run really well. Outside the starboard engine, I need to replace the water intake hose, which is going to be done either by myself or the mechanic in the next couple of weeks. And then I've got, more that pump right there runs for the hot water heater. So I haven't quite figured out everything about that yet. There's that's the wastewater storage. And then you have 2 tanks. And I'll pop the other hatches in a minute here to show you the other side of the engine compartment. There's some freshwater storage there, 2 tanks there. So overall, it's pretty clean on this side here. Okay. Let's go ahead and put that back, and we'll come up top here, and we'll pop those engine hatches off, and we'll start the engine up here real quick here. My wife bought these waterproof beanbag chairs. It's pretty comfy, actually. So let's throw them up here so they're out of the way. So I'm going to take a walk off onto the shore here. As you can see the back of my boat here. So we got to get it renamed. So there's the back of the boat. Well, you can't even see it in one picture here. It's so damn wide. So, got the nice swim platform with the ladder there. Shore power. Got a hose hooked up and everything. Keep it washed down. So, actually, this cover down here. So, this Sea Ray, when I was finding out more about it, this Sea Ray is one of the only boats out there that has, get out of the wind here real quick so you can hear me. That, with those covers there, that Sea Ray is one of the only boats that has the exhaust ports for the engine in the bottom. The rest of these things, none of the other boats I went up to this junkyard, old boats, none of them had these ports in the bottom of the boat. At least not that I can find. They were all on the top or other places. So finding that cover was very, very hard. So local salvage yard had one 30-foot Sea Ray of that year, and it had the cover on it, so I was able to grab it for 25 bucks. So that worked out. All right, let's pull this engine. Move this right here out of the way. Got 3 batteries here. So I don't currently trust the blower motor on here. I hear it running, but I don't trust it yet. So I had to do a little more research on that. But for now, whenever I go start the engine, I always pull the cover here just so I vent it properly. So got ourselves a battery charger, which is kind of nice. It works good. You see, it's a pretty clean boat for the most part for the year. I've got the 3 batteries. Got two master switches. There's another picture of the engine there from that side there. Starboard port. Trim tabs work well. I'm still learning about how they work and what to do with them and everything. So that's a process. I'm doing a lot of YouTube videos for them. Alright. So this is, like I said, 1979 Weekender 300 by Sea Ray that I picked up a couple weeks ago. Let's start the engine real quick so you can see how well this thing runs. It does start right up typically. Do the starboard side first. Okay. Well. That's the starboard engine. Let's make sure they're both in neutral too. I think that's all right. Gonna set this down here for a minute here. All right. So let's play around with the throttle a little bit here. So, both engines started right up here. One thing I have found about this boat, hopefully you can still hear me, is that it idles really, really high. In fact, it's idling anywhere between in gear, forward gear, 5 to 6 miles an hour. That's based off my GPS on the fish finder there, the Garmin. So that's another thing I'm working with the mechanic is tuning down the idle cable on here. So if you do know how to do that, let me know, because I looked all over YouTube videos and I couldn't find anything in regards to tuning the throttle body cable. Well, I know it can't be hard, but just haven't been able to find any videos. All the videos I see finding is about replacing the shifter cables, which I'm like, that's easy to do too. I don't need that. I need to do the throttle body cable. So maybe I just don't know what I'm talking about there, but that's something I need to figure out. So if you know how to do that, let me know. Let me power these down here. Okay. Bilge pumps both work really well. I don't know if you could hear it kick on. Both work really well. Alright, so I'm signing off for now. Obviously I've got a lot of work to do to completely get the boat tuned up, but it is in great shape. Runs great out in the water. Outside of that starboard engine with a high temperature, or not high temperature, a high engine oil pressure. And the throttle on that one is off compared to the port side. So I use that synchronizer a lot to make sure, because these, just an example, I'll see the shifting levels right there as being synchronized on the throttle cable. So it's got to be some adjustments on that starboard side, along with that engine oil, and then also that intake, water intake for the engine. But outside that, I'm signing off. As I said, my name is Kevin Cromwell with my new old 1979 Sea Ray Weekender. Let me know what you think, and I'll try to post some more videos as I continually fix up the boat and go from there. Thank you.